Hello and welcome, you crazy cycling lovers. My name is Ruslan Mikhailyan and you're watching Skinny Spinner's YouTube channel. This is the third stage of Tour de KARNTEN 2019 and it's called the Roof of the Tour. If you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up as well as hit that notification bell. Also, you can follow me on Strava, on Facebook as well as Instagram. All the links you can find down below in the description. As you can see, today I'm starting in the Group B. The reason is I lost pretty much time in the general classification, so I was like something around 110, so this is basically the head of Group B. And again, I tried to stay near the car, the front of the Group B, just to make sure to get in the Group A after the official start. Alright, so let's check out the route itself. Again, starting in OCR, the official start starts in Feldkirchen over here. The first mountain is pretty short, but the gradient is pretty high. Then you have a flat part where you want to make sure that you are in a group because of some crosswinds. Then the main part, the main mountain of the day finishes in Hochrind. The highest point is around 1500 meters. After that, pretty dangerous descent all the way to Feldkirchen with small hills along the way. The total distance was 87 kilometers. I managed to finish in 2 hours 55 minutes. Total elevation gain was 1800 meters. This data from Garmin is a bit not precise because of the weather conditions. The average speed was 29.7 kilometers per hour. So even though it was the third stage already, I managed to recover after yesterday's time trial, so I had good legs, felt very good. You can see managed to stay on the front just behind the car over here that separated Group A from Group B, and this is basically not the start yet. We are moving to the Feldkirchen and the start will be like in 5 minutes or so. This is what I really like about Tour de KARNTEN. They always start outside of the city before the hill, actually in a small incline, just to make sure avoid all those early crashes which may happen if you are starting in downhill, let's say, or if you are starting on a flat part of the race. Plus, they don't allow to overtake the cars of each group. You have to stay in your line, don't go on the left side of the road, just keep the pace which car sets. So here you see they actually give official starts, car moves to the right, and this is the place, the part of the race where you can actually move to the Group A and merge with the group in front of you if you want to keep up with the strong guys. And again, as you can see from the elevation map over here, the official start starts in an incline and it's already like 5% and the suffer time begins. Group A is pretty strong. They're hitting almost 300 watts into the first climb. You see that the group is already stretched out. And I am actually starting to move backwards because I decided to keep my own tempo, ride my own pace, around 250 to 170 watts, just to make sure not to burn it all out in the beginning of the race and save my legs for the second main climb of the day. The weather today was pretty good, was not that cold, around 12-15 degrees Celsius maybe. There was no rain in the beginning, but after the main climb of the day it started to rain really badly and the descent was really dangerous. Maybe that was the reason why I went almost off the track and almost crashed on that part that you already saw in the beginning of this particular stage. On the right hand side you can see a rider in blue and black jersey. His name is Andrei Mikheyev and he's my main rival in a good way during Tour de KARNTEN. So here we are, already finishing the first climb of the day. Obviously we are dropped from Group A just because we cannot maintain their pace and their wattage. Here I'm cutting corners again, going on the left side of the road, you know, those marginal gains, and we are trying to close the gap to the group in front of us. Let's see if we manage to do it. It was really important to catch those guys because we had a pretty rough crosswind section in front of us, and if you are around 58 kilograms like I am, you don't really want to be alone during the crosswind section because you can lose a lot of time. So we're trying to bridge across to that group, and we made it. So here we are already rotating together, a group of 5 or 6 people which were working during the crosswind section. You can see that there is a slight incline, but anyways, with the crosswind, maintaining the speed of 35 kilometers per hour is pretty damn good. You know that it's very important to keep the steady tempo, especially when you're riding in a group and especially if you're rotating. So let's see what happens next over here. Taking my turn, there is the guy which takes his turn after mine on the right side, and check what happens next. The guy in the blue overtakes us and opening the gap. This guy in front of me is like, what the heck? We were working like very good, we're trying to catch the group that is in front of us. The gap is like 500 meters, and here we are already losing the pace, losing the tempo, slowing down to 26 kilometers per hour just because a person simply doesn't know how to behave and how to ride in a group. In any case, we managed to close the gap, and here we are in the group of 40 or 50 people or so. I managed to catch my breath and recover a bit, and also tried to move a bit up this bunch in order to have a good position before we tackle the second climb of the day with the highest point of 1500 meters. So here it is, the start of the second climb of the day. It starts in the town Bene Rehenau, not sure if I got that right, and finishes in Hokrindel. The distance of the climb is almost 10 kilometers. The average gradient is 5%, with some parts up to 10 or 12% even, and the total elevation gain is 506 meters. As you can see, I'm maintaining here the pretty high cadence. The watts are still around 250-270 watts. I'm trying not to burn myself. You can see that the group is stretching a bit, so I'm trying to move up over here just to make sure to be on the front somewhere and not to lose a lot of positions before the main downhill of the day. By the way, before this race I managed to find a new cassette 1130. Big thanks to Viktor Petrovich, who had a spare one and gave it to me till the rest of Tour de KARNTEN. Before I had 1128 and it really killed my legs, considering that I had 3652 on the front. So if you are considering taking part in Tour de KARNTEN or similar races, you don't want to be grinding like this guy on the right hand side. You want to have a gear ratio around 34 to 30, let's say, or even 32 or 34 on the back. But only in the case where your rear derailleur supports such big cogs, because for example Ultegra that I have, it doesn't work with the 32 cassette, and of course it doesn't work with 34 cassette, so you gotta check that before you buy the cassette and make sure that everything fits and everything works together smoothly. So here we are riding through this tunnel. We have like 2 kilometers left till the top of the second climb of the day. You can see that everyone just riding by himself. There is no group or whatsoever, and it's pretty hard. I am out of the saddle, my legs are pretty done over here. I'm really suffering. The heart rate is around 175 beats per minute, the gradient is 8%, and luckily there is no rain, and you can see that the road is pretty dry over here. Posing for an epic photo over here, by the way, big thanks to the photographers. Actually during each stage you had like 6 places where they took a photo of you, and after the race you could order them online, or they also printed some of the pictures and you could buy them right after the race and before the final party. 500 meters till the end of the second climb of the day. You can see that the road is getting a bit wet and it gets pretty foggy over here, which is pretty dangerous considering the fact that we have a very high speed and dangerous descent in front of us. 200 meters to go, some fans on the side of the road trying to cheer us up, and big thanks to them actually. We needed some motivation because we were really suffering at this point of the race. Actually here I'm trying to drop the guys just before the descent and I managed to do it. So let's move further to the descent itself. Let's go. It gets pretty dangerous right here because it starts to rain, so you have to be really focused and concentrated on the downhill. However, I still trying to pedal through this descent, maintaining the speed of 50 kilometers per hour. I managed to open the gap from my rivals, so I'm trying to maintain it. Over here turning left and right away turning right, and I'm catching this guy in front of me. And it would be a pretty good idea actually to overtake this guy, because you can see that the visibility is getting worse and worse, and in such cases you don't want anyone in front of you, especially if you're going downhill in such bad weather conditions. Maybe this was a good place to overtake this guy, however I decided to stay on his wheel. I don't know why. Tell me, what do you think about this situation? Do you want to have a person in front of you while descending in such bad conditions, or you want to do it by yourself in order to see all the lines and all the trajectories? So here it is, an epic moment of the race. I couldn't see the right turn, so I had to brake really late and my rear wheel slipped, and here I almost crashed into this tree, but somehow I got lucky and managed to stay on the bike. Let's watch it again in slow motion. I am going like 55 kilometers per hour. I ignore this guy braking over here. I cannot see the right turn, so here I start to brake really hard. My rear wheel slips. I am trying to avoid crashing, hitting the grass over here and hitting the branches of the trees. You can see that someone already crashed over here, but I got lucky and somehow managed to stay on the bike. Tell me, what do you think about this situation? I know that I was acting pretty stupid in this case. I didn't consider the weather conditions. I had to be focused, I had to be concentrated. I didn't need to go that fast in such case, and you know, sometimes the risk isn't worth it. It's not Tour de France, you're not fighting for pink or yellow or red, so you gotta keep in mind that there are some people waiting for you at home, and this is just a bike race. Alright, back to our race, 50 kilometers per hour here. What I did actually after that situation, I put the road map on the display on my Garmin so I could see all the turns, and here was a pretty straight road, so I allow myself to maintain high speed. However, I still had my fingers on the brakes and didn't risk that much. So what happens after you almost crash? Basically you lose all the confidence when going downhill, so I started to use the brakes more, and you see that the speed is not that high, 45, and decreasing. Basically the guys, they started to overtake me, and you can see that the guy in front of me is simply disappearing in the fog over here. Continues to rain. The road is wet and foggy over here, like no visibility at all. It's cold, it's wet, you just praying for the race to end, and you wanna get safe to the finish and don't see DNF sign next to your name in the final protocols. Losing here more positions. This is Andrei Mikheyev overtakes me, and some another guy going through this left turn, dropping the speed to 25 kilometers per hour, not pedaling at all, now to 20 kilometers per hour and not pedaling through this corner as well, just rolling. Another left turn. Over here you can see the signs, which means that this is pretty dangerous turn, and let's see, not bad, but again the speed is like 20 kilometers per hour. Going out of the saddle, sprinting to get back that speed, and still being overtaken by this guy. He's going around maybe 60 kilometers per hour here, I'm going 51, and just trying to relax, trying to focus and trying to keep calm. This is pretty crazy situation. On the right side, this is the guy on the bicycle of the pro rider from Trek Segafredo, Pedro Stetina, so his descending skills are just sick. You can see that the road is getting pretty dry over here. Already the rain stopped, and basically you had a chance to go a little bit faster. You could see that I hit almost 55 kilometers per hour, again not taking any risks over here. Left turn pretty smoothly, and again another guy overtakes me. So here how it was on the third stage of Tour de Cartman, even girls started to overtake me. So while we are watching my crappy downhill technique, let me give you some statistics for this race. So I finished the race in 2 hours and 55 minutes. The average speed was 29.7 kilometers per hour. The maximum speed was 68.5 kilometers per hour. The average heart rate was 162 beats per minute. The maximum was 183, and it was not on the finish because I didn't actually sprint in the end of the race. The maximum watts I hit were 700, and the average I had 201. The intensity factor was 0.8, and training stress score 179. So here we are, the last 500 meters of the race. I'm so cooked, I'm so tired. I got dropped again after the descent, so I had to go by myself the last maybe 5 kilometers or so. So this is the story of the third stage of Tour de Cartenen. Thank you for watching, guys. If you like this video, make sure to give it thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give it thumbs down, I don't mind. If you're not yet subscribed, make sure to do so, it will be highly appreciated. Also click that notification bell, and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, as well as Strava. Again, it will be highly appreciated. Thank you for watching again, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.